What's up, family? It's your boy. You already know what it is. I want to welcome you on behalf of my wife and myself to the Truth Moment podcast. We're so happy and grateful that you guys decided to rock with us and come on this journey with us. Listen, it's going to be a night of laughter, a night of love, as well as a night of learning. So this is what I need you to do. Go get some pads and some papers. Nah, I'm just playing with you. Listen, fellas, get your ladies, get some popcorn or some snacks and drinks and get ready because it's about to start in just a few moments. To show you that. So in front of our family and our friends, I would love to know if you would do me the honor of being my wife. Will you marry me? For this night I pray. What it is, y'all? What's up, family?
Hey guys.
I guess you can tell that somebody was fashionably late just now.
I was a little late.
you know.
She had to get together, honey. I'm a supervisor by day and a therapist by night. Book me.
A therapist or a counselor?
Counselor, therapist. Don't do me wrong.
I'm just trying to get it straight.
Don't do me.
I'm just trying to get it straight.
On Truth Moment. I'm a Christian counselor.
No, excuse you. Tonight is the fellas' night. Woo, 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 woo.
All right, guys.
Big dogs in the house.
Let me make sure my eyelash together because I had to rush and get myself together. So I am Quanisha Bennett.
Yes. Tonight she goes by Quentin tonight though, because she's here with the fellas.
They've played themselves. They've created a name for me. It's very disrespectful the way things are happening here, but we're gonna get it on and popping. We're excited to have you guys. Oh, you didn't introduce yourself.
Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Superman is in the building. We love you guys. Are y'all ready to meet the fellas? Listen, we have assembled.
Can you try to plug my charging phone?
You're gonna say that just on the camera.
This is a truth moment. Truth moment. My phone need to be charged.
Okay, cool. If you learn to stay off it, it'll be fine. But we assembled the Avengers tonight. We got the Dream Team in the building. You know what I'm saying?
Avengers.
We assembled the Avengers. We got different superheroes that are the kings and the bosses in their own worlds.
Mm-hmm.
And we want to bring them on now to introduce you to some of the fellas, some of the brethren. So let's meet them at this time.
Ain't nobody paying attention. Look at Damon.
I am paying attention, Kevin.
You're not muted, Kevin.
Ain't nobody muted. Nobody.
Hi, guys.
What up, fellas?
What's up?
What it is. What's good?
Do you want to introduce them, babe?
Y'all want me to introduce y'all? Y'all want to do your own introductions?
Go ahead, have at it.
All right. So in the middle box, we got two of my brothers coming from the Philadelphia region. On the left, the names actually don't match the way they're sitting, but on the left, or at least the way I'm looking at them, got my boy Dash, who is a music producer, audio engineer. He is a business owner. He is a father, a husband. He's an all-around good dude to know. Welcome, Mr. Tyrone, aka Dash Nolan. I'm gonna need you to bring some more energy than that.
They dry. They gonna be
sitting next to him. He is a Philadelphia personality that everybody loves. He goes by the name Uncle Kev because that really embodies who he is. He's an uncle to everyone. He's a brother to everybody. He's an educator. He's a principal. He's a dean. He's an all-around youth advocate, and we love him. His name is Kevin Gold, aka Uncle Kev.
Woo!
All right.
Woo!
And the next one.
And he's a dad.
My bad. Can't leave out the most important
part.
Next to Uncle Kev, we got my brother originally from the Philadelphia region, but now he's in Jersey. He has migrated. He's a family man. He is a pastor and founder of Living Waters Pentecostal Church. He's a husband. He's a business owner. He is a cosmetologist. He owns his own barbershop, Damon's Private Cuts. He is the husband of a beautiful wife, father of two beautiful kids. He is three beautiful kids. He is Damon Downing. Come on, y'all. Let's clap it up for my brother.
What's up, everybody?
All right. All right.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying to
be
share.
in Philadelphia at the end of the month, man.
Okay, that's what's up.
I'm trying to
so on the bottom left corner, you see him as B the Kid. I call him Beha. Since I was young, I've called him Beha. He is Mr. He still owes me a nightstand. He is a pharmaceutical scientist. He is probably one of the most intelligent cats I know. Boy got too many degrees to name. He is in school at this moment pursuing another degree because his brother is just that smart. He's funny. He's a singer and a musician by gift, a preacher by proclamation. His name is Bijan Jave Halsey, and we know him as B the Kid.
Bijan, he's family. Everyone's family. Excited.
And the bottom minimum box, if y'all know me, you know him.
You know what I'm saying? This guy is literally a clone. He is like the split personality of me. Where you saw me, you saw him. Is outside of my wife, I call him my better half or a better version of me. This is my young brother, my youngest brother, my little big brother now. He feel like he the boss. He is a businessman, entrepreneur, all around intelligent man, hustle on a million. I want to introduce you guys to my little brother Brian Bennett.
Woo!
Come on, y'all, let's make some noise.
My brother in love. Woo!
Just like
Last but most certainly not least, we got probably one of the biggest troublemakers I know in that bottom right corner.
For sure.
I'll talk about get you in trouble on your vacation. You know what I'm saying? Like make you confess some things that you didn't know you needed to confess. But I love him none the same. That is my brother Wayne Christopher Allen. He is a pastor.
Yes.
He is a guitarist. He is a bass player. He is a preacher. Phenomenal. He's a father. He is a husband. Yes. He is a great man all around. And he's one of the dopest dudes I know. Yes. So let's welcome him to the podcast. And that is all your introductions. All your introductions. So we're gonna get right into.
And then it's me.
Oh yeah. And then this is Quentin, y'all.
Also known as Quentin.
This is Quentin. So the secret behind Quentin is my wife is the only wife that is involved in some of the guys' conversations. Like I could be on the phone with one of the boys, and she'd be like, "Let me speak to Damon. Let me speak to Kev. Let me speak to this is what you." And so they gave her this name Quentin, and that's who I'm here with tonight. I'm here with Quentin, my beautiful, you know what I'm saying, my beautiful wife. And so we're going to get right into it. We're going to get right into it.
Yes.
Because we got a lot to discuss. Yes. So, fellas, first thing I want to know is, do you feel like people know how to love a black man? We're going to delve into the different roles.
Dang, you
don't gotta mute yourself. We got the echo situation on lock, no technical difficulties. Thank you to the man upstairs. Mm-hmm. But do you feel like the society or culture or the church or any of the fields that you guys are predominantly in know how to appropriately love a black man?
Where we started from?
Anybody
who wants to talk.
Anybody want to grab it?
No.
Okay. Anybody else?
Yeah, you want to add to that? Yeah,
okay. I think that at large society doesn't really know how to deal with or address the black man. With black men, there is so much that comes along with just being a black man and living in this world, not just in the United States, but in this world, period. In my dealings, every day I deal with people from all over the place, people from different countries. And it's, I would say that by large, the answer is no. And there are so many different reasons why that is, but no.
No.
I'm gonna go ahead and say my piece. I'm gonna go ahead and say no.
Listen, I mean, if that's something that we...
Wait, Chris, I think yeah, Bijan was talking.
I couldn't really hear.
Your volume is a little low.
Mine?
Yeah.
All right, my bad, y'all.
There we go.
No, I was saying no. For a variety of different reasons. I was gonna break it down to three different ways or three different aspects of love. But before we can expect love from society, we have to love ourselves.
For sure.
So I think, in essence, as people, as individuals, sometimes we don't know how to truly love ourselves. As black men, we don't know how to sometimes approach other black men. So I think that's where we start. Before we can start to expect love from those that are outside of our own personal community as black men. But now, y'all go ahead.
Definitely. Good stuff. Anybody else?
So hold on. Let's deal with that. You on the phone. You're not even.
I'm trying to like, share, and subscribe.
So get it together, Quentin.
I'm doing the work.
So let me ask you a question. How can a black man love himself when he's been taught that he's nothing to love?
Is that a question for me?
Again, are you going in any specific order? Or you just throwing out
anybody. It's a free fall.
Okay.
Oh man.
Go ahead, Pastor Chris. You want to talk?
No. He was getting ready to come with something, so I'm good with piggybacking. Go ahead.
Just like any other things that you may want to learn how to do in the world, you go out and you try to find the information. Without that information, you're kind of ignorant to different things. If you find yourself in a situation where you don't love yourself properly, you can explore a variety of different avenues to go to therapy. One thing that I've done. We talked about, like, briefly, you guys talked about love languages on the last episode. After you kind of delved into your self-love, you can try to learn your own personal love languages. Mm-hmm. And I know that a lot of times it's highly popularized to love your partner and their love languages, but you have to love yourself and your own love language. So if I enjoy quality time, learn how to spend quality time with myself.
Mm-hmm.
Put him back in.
Put him back in?
Yeah.
I thought that was the reason why we couldn't hear you. Now we can't hear you at all. So I guess put him back in.
He was good for a minute.
Yeah, you was good till Quentin bothered you.
You couldn't hear me. You said,
I hear you now. I hear you. You good.
I don't know.
This is why
might have to...
the black man has problems in America now.
This
is why.
Don't attack my sister while I'm on this.
Truth moment. We sitting here, and I was saying we can't hear Bijan. He was like,
I said he's a little low.
We said a little low. I said it's probably his AirPods. He was like, yeah, I think so too.
I didn't say take him out. That's not what I said. I ain't take him out. He might be a little, you know what I'm saying? But this is why the black man.
This is just a glimpse of our group chat.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
You know what?
Exactly.
I'm not helping y'all no more. I didn't want to be on this stinking episode anyway.
Why are you here? Don't do that to her. That's why we got issues, though. No, I think I want to go off of what BJ said, though. I think is a certain level of honor we need to give ourselves. Mm-hmm. And I don't think black men spend enough time with themselves because we're too busy fighting against everything that we're expected to not be, not say, not do, not think. Spaces that we are forced to be in that are filled with people who don't think and look like us. So we have so many different things that are contributing to the fact that we have taught ourselves to navigate life without a personal attachment to it, right? So I can't be Kev, the dad, the teacher, educator, the mentor, the life coach, the everything else, and at the end of the day, come home and only be able to be myself for me, because somewhere in my brain and my psyche, I'm still trying to navigate the dad part, even when my daughter's asleep, the mentor, even when my kids are about their business, the educator, even when the schools are closed. So I'm still thinking about how I allow myself to be attached to these things and not necessarily giving myself permission to give myself the same energy, if that makes any sense. So I think we have to do a lot of giving honor to ourselves and allowing ourselves to, what BJ said, show ourselves self-love and self-care. And I can go into why we don't do that, but I'll wait. I'll give other people.
Well, I believe there's a miseducation of love.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This is how you have like the miseducation of Lauryn Hill, right? You know, there's a miseducation of love, and it varies how we've all been taught, you know, through culturally, you know, as far as a context within where you're from, you know, your background, how you've been raised, you know, how was the home, all of those things play, you know, play into how we love ourselves based on what was the first initial aspect of what we, you know, came to know what love was from the beginning, you know, and with that miseducation, you know, we've never been really taught to love ourselves. We've always been taught that, you know, that love is just depleting yourself and never, you know, never pouring back into yourself. But the thing is that love is really no good when you're just outsourcing, you're not insourcing, you're not putting anything, you're never putting anything back in. You know what I mean? And I think that one of the things that we have to learn is we have to unlearn a lot of the ways that we perceive love. We have to unlearn a lot of the ways that we think about love. And most of it is, there's something in psychology called the law of acquisition, right? And the way that you understand love, how you've acquired love, you know what I mean? And how it formulates in your brain, how you perceive it, whether it's according to your parents or, or whatever situations that you have, your mind is affixed to that's what love is. And for the Black culture, we haven't really been taught that properly, you know what I mean? And it filters through how we are fathers, how we're husbands, how we're brothers, how we're leaders in our communities, in our churches, whatever the case may be. And once we say, you know what I got, I need to unlearn and find a better way, then we'll start to see things come.
Good stuff, Fred. Good stuff. I agree.
Go ahead, Q.
Brian, anything you want to say?
T talking, Q.
Oh, T talking. Wait, Brian, wait. Because T ain't never talking.
I'm just agreeing with Chris said. Like everything he said was, it's something I would say. So I agree with that.
Okay.
Then she gonna call Brian out. If he ain't speak, maybe he want to leave my.
Listen, you're not quiet. You're not quiet on the truth moment. I need you to be.
You're not quiet on the truth.
I'm quiet in real life.
This is our truth moment, so y'all not gonna be quiet. Y'all gonna talk.
No, I'm quiet in real life, but honestly, so I can't say that like it's society's fault for not being able to love us properly. Like part of it is we can't communicate how we're supposed to be loved, partly because we don't know how to communicate, or partly because we may just not know. So I think a part of it is like we falsely align ourselves with like the identities that society wants us to have or projects on us, and we lose ourselves in that. So if I'm believing that this is supposed to be me, then I'm moving like it's supposed to be me, and then I'm gonna do everything based on that. But if that's not who I am, then whatever love you're giving me based on that can't be received because it's just not me. You feel me? So that's pretty much it.
Dame, you about to say something?
No, I don't want to step on you if you want to say something.
No, go ahead. I'm loving
I
it.
agree with what everybody has said. Everyone has made some really good points. I think one of the things that we have to learn to do is acknowledge that, what we've learned is not what should be. So you can't fix a problem when you don't acknowledge that there is a problem. Yes. So as long as you don't accept that there is a problem, you can never address that problem. You will always be blinded to the issue. And there are so many different dynamics and so many issues within the Black community alone. That's not even talking about the outside influences. I'm just talking about the Black community, about the way we perceive ourselves, the way we present ourselves, the way we deal with each other, the way we even, look at ourselves, because you can't love yourself when you view yourself in an improper way. So how I'm trying to say, so if you look at yourself as though you are, we demonize ourselves a lot. We put ourselves down with the music we listen to, with the movies we watch, with the way we interact with our friends. We put ourselves down, and then we expect others to love us, whether it be our girlfriends, our wives, or whoever. If you don't know how to properly love yourself, to properly deal with and view yourself, how can you expect anyone else to view you the way that you should be viewed? So, I mean, I think the basis of what I'm saying is that you can't fix something that you don't acknowledge. So we have to acknowledge that there is a problem. There is a serious issue, and then we need to deal with it from there.
Go ahead, Kel.
Good stuff.
Go ahead, Kel.
Many of us come from situations or circumstances that are, those things are presented as such a normalcy. It's not a problem. It's normal. This is all we know. So It's not that I take it like this. I can't enter as an educator in all my tenure in education, go into a new institution and expect them to believe in me. Or expect them to believe in what I have to offer a space, right? I have to let them know I'm not there to change, just show a different way of viewing what they have been so comfortable in sitting in, right? Same in Black culture. We don't recognize a problem because majority of Black culture, societies, communities, the places we dwell in have developed such a normalcy and sense of comfort around what's been that it's not a problem. This is what we do. This is who we are. This is what we know. Point blank, period. It's then acknowledged as, let's say, in the work that some of us do, right? In community outreach and things like that, in the church. When you
I'm glad you went
have a desire to see things differently, right? It's all in how we attempt to change the narrative. There's nothing wrong with presenting the solution, but the presentation of the solution is what's going to get you your desired result. The Black community is only failing because we do not present things to the Black community in a way that affords us the opportunity to attach ourselves to it. Everything is a competition. Black men don't love Black men enough, which is why we have the issues we have. We don't say things out loud enough. We don't heal. We don't see therapists. Absolutely. But so is the opposite of it, right?
Think about it though.
Well, there's a lot of trauma that is instilled, within the Black community that has psychologically been passed down. Sometimes not even verbally, sometimes even non-verbally. You know what I mean? When you think about, one of the things that's, in philosophy, psychology, one of the arguments is always nature versus nurture. And a lot of time, those things are both at place, how you've been nurtured, but then also, the predispositions that are within, Black people that are not necessarily in other cultures because of the information that's been passed through the throughout the genealogy, throughout the line has made us more tense, made us more, and people never talk about the biological aspects that are encompassed within that trauma that's been passed down through generations and stuff like that we need to really address, like Damon was saying, we can't fix a problem until we say there's a problem. The doctor, is not going to prescribe you medicine until you tell him what's wrong. And then, there's a truth moment, right? You got to tell them the truth of what's wrong. You can't say, oh, my leg hurt, but your foot really hurts, but you don't want to show your foot because your foot, you ain't got your toes done. Everything look all crazy and stuff like that. You don't want to show that because you're embarrassed about that. You know what I'm saying? Those are things that we haven't been to embrace, certain emotions as, everything is all, hush, be quiet. We've taught our Black sons, yo, what you crying for? No, it's not right to cry. You know what I mean? It's a right to show emotion. It doesn't make you weak. You know what I'm saying? But that's what we've been taught, and harboring all of those things psychologically, emotionally, they have a play even on, on the biological aspects, within our being. You know what I mean? Stress levels high, heart stuff like that. We're not even gonna get into what we eating. You know what I mean? This can go so many different ways. So
that's how I'm feeling right now.
How you feeling? How you feeling, T?
Like this topic, like it can go so many different ways.
But
right.
That's one of the reasons.
Like
Go ahead, bro. I'm sorry.
Like we're all speaking, but it's like the topic can just go.
Right.
I'm like, all right,
it's like we don't really want to open it too much because we'll be on here.
Listen, that's the problem, though. We don't
see that exactly.
But see, because we don't communicate with each other.
Right.
We don't.
Consistently.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. So that's one of the reasons why So we were having a conversation maybe a month ago now, right?
Hey, but I raised my hand.
All right,
that was
sorry.
the hand to talk. Everyone did this. Talk again. That's what you're supposed to do. Babe, you didn't know the name of the game. You raise your hand, babe. You can talk now.
No, you go ahead.
Oh, thank you. Talking hand. So what I wanted to say before we go too far out, I just wanted to make reference to something that Chris said in reference to us teaching our boys not to cry. Like that's a huge thing that we never really delve into. Like, you know, as soon as they cry, man up. That's not how men are. Man up. You ain't supposed to cry. You ain't supposed to cry. And for us, yeah, Uncle Brian, for us, we have boy children, and I am a firm believer at letting them have their emotions. You need to cry, okay? And then after, let's talk about this. Now, is this something to cry about? Should this be something that you're crying about? Let's save your tears for something that's more important. Let's really get to why you're crying instead of saying to them, no, you can't cry. No, you better stop crying.
Yeah, but
go ahead, Kev. I want to say something too. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, B.
Saving your tears for something more important. Like you can't tell them what's important enough for them to
Thank
cry
you.
about.
That's all I was going to say.
But even it's suppression of crying when you just said that you believe in crying.
Brian got the. I mean, Bijan got the hand. What I'm saying is, don't cry because I said you got to clean your room.
But that's how they express themselves. He may want to let that out. He don't let that out.
That might bring him pain, bro.
Okay. Oh, you're absolutely right.
Clean and
right. So I'm gonna stop saying that. You're right.
Yeah, because you can't tell them when and where to cry and what should make them cry. But you know what I try to instill in my son is this: you can cry, you can feel the emotions, but the thing about that makes a man different than a woman is that you can feel the emotions, but you still got to keep moving anyway. You can't start crying and then fall apart and break down and stay there. No. Okay, I understand that this situation may make you feel pain, but as a man, you have to continue through the pain. You can't just stop because you feel pain.
Wow, I'm suppressing them.
That's good.
It's true.
I just learned something new.
Go ahead, Kev.
Thank you, brother.
That's not just for men though, because I'm teaching my daughter at 2.5 the exact same thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Like she cannot let her emotions keep her down.
Right.
There'll be a time where I'm not there or mom not there to coach her through what to do next. She needs to know that.
Sure.
And I understood what Q was saying a little around, like, because I echo what B said, like, to the 10th power, you cannot negate or dictate what's an emotional draw to anybody. But I do understand the meaning behind that, though. Like, saving your tears for something important means, like, so we should be teaching what's worth a physical expression of emotion versus
what's not
something that we can internalize and kind of think ourselves through. And that all ties into the language that we don't speak as a Black community. We come from lineage of people who had to literally fight their way through everything, right? There was never room for conversation. There was never time for, nobody had the space to be free to think, let alone have a conversation about it, right? So now that we're a little more hip or caught up with the Joneses, we have to now adapt a new way of thinking that our grandmothers and our grandfathers and even some of our parents are never going to acknowledge.
This is true.
We have to think differently, to do different, to present different, so that people coming after us won't think the same. They won't be so guarded.
It's true. Like, I have to catch myself. Like, let me tell you how real it is that instilling and embedding in us. My son died, right? And it was times where I was like, yo, like, man up. Like, man, you know what I'm saying? As traumatic and as serious as that was, but that's how I was raised. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't cry. This ain't what we do. Yo, let me tell you.
But that wasn't a man up situation for you.
But what I'm saying was,
you don't know the difference.
You know what I'm saying?
You've been taught your whole life.
I'm approaching this with this, like, okay, man up. You know what I'm saying? Like, we was taught, BJ and Brian could tell you, it's either you're a Chihuahua or you're a pit bull. Which one you gonna be?
The other, bro.
You one of the
other.
And how you respond to it is gonna show us what you are. And so we was taught, you ain't no Chihuahua, you a pit bull.
Can we be?
You know what I'm saying? But now, as someone that was instilled that, like, I have to catch myself. Like, sometimes I got a 12-year-old and a 4-year-old that cry, and sometimes, like, the same thing that they did to me, I'll be ready to punch him in his chest, and I'll be like, you know what? Let me, you know what? Go ahead. You get what I'm saying? What? But so we gotta get that out of us.
But let's be real. Some of us, all 8 of us that's on here, we come from some really tough situations. And for real, it was survival of the fittest. You can't show no weakness. And in the hood, you can't. You know that you can't show no weakness. Like I'm, I can't speak for everybody. I'm speak for myself. Right. I'm light skinned with curly hair and I'm skinny. Coming from the hood, come on, man. I show any weakness, you know what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like you know what it is. So I mean, like it's everything. You know, you were talking about nature versus nurture. All of it plays a part in who we are. And we all come from, you know what I'm saying, old school dudes that were the same way. My uncles would hit you in the chest in a minute, like, yo, you don't stop that crying and get yourself up. You know what I'm saying? You could have almost fell and broke your leg and they telling you to stop crying.
Listen.
You know what I'm saying? No matter what the situation is, but we you know, where we are today, we are trying to be better for the ones that are coming behind us, teach them better and show them, you know what I'm saying, like every day, show them love and the things that were not necessarily present in our lives. Like, you know what I'm saying, like nobody in my life ever said, it's okay for you to cry. It's okay for you to feel pain and hurt and be okay. Nobody ever said nothing like that to me. But the thing that I'm trying to do with my children along with my wife is raise my kids so that they don't need to recover from their childhood.
Because childhood trauma is serious.
Yeah.
Oh, big time. It sets the precedent for how you become an adult. You know, I'm sorry to be throwing out all these psychological stuff, psychology stuff, right? But like so one of the biggest things, I just wrote this paper the other day, and there's this psychologist named Erickson, right? So Erickson's theory, he has the first stage is trust versus mistrust, right? Which is a big deal. You know, trust versus mistrust is the first stage that you hit, and you start going into the separation anxiety. You know what I mean? How a parent was, attachment theories, right? And how a parent was with that child and stuff like that. So when you have, parents who got to work 2 jobs, can't really spend that much time, and now from that childhood trauma of, you think, all right, well, I'm just working, I'm doing whatever I got to do. That builds up, coming back to the whole love factor, that builds, all right, well, love means that you ain't really got to be there. You don't really got to be present. Or, you just give me stuff. I don't really need that affection. I don't really need that love, or whatever the case may be, or that emotion or whatnot. I can be devoid of emotion and love is present. And that's far from the truth. You know what I mean? But in the same aspect, I think one of the things that we look at, and I think that we miss, is that there's got to be equal balance. Mm-hmm. Got to be moderation in everything. Okay, like we said, we want to teach them emotions, but then of course, and coming back to the black people, right? We've gone through so much, and it's like we gotta try umpteen more than everybody else, because there's always something that's trying to break us. Mm-hmm. And I think that's where that holding on to emotion comes. Like, I'm not gonna let you see me crack. I don't care what you do. I don't care what you say. I'm not gonna let you see me crack. But there's got to be a safe space continually for you to have that thing to, once you face the world, you come back home. And for the black man, that should be your wife. I just wanted to give a little segue.
So we gonna get there.
Y'all see how I did that?
I saw it. You did.
I see how I did that.
But you said safe space. You said safe space. And so I want to ask this question, and anybody at any given time, listen, you already know. Does the church love black men? And does the church know how to love a black man?
No. Not in whole.
I'm out here.
I've been a black man in church my entire life. Not in no.
As a black man, do you feel like the church
loves the part of the black man that's willing to give all of himself to it, not even to Christ, to it.
And I'm gonna piggyback off that. The church loves the black man that looks like whatever black men have historically been
in the church.
Come on, that's good. Don't comment.
Brian's eyes are getting big. Wow, this is getting real.
This y'all come on. That's it.
We've been
all our lives.
Right. That's what I want to say. So I think we have permission. I think we have permission. Yes, I think we have permission to speak on this topic in truth.
No,
are we on truth moment?
Truth moment.
I think I would appreciate my connection to the church more if it treated me the way God asked it to.
Ooh.
If I did not have to hide myself because of the hats I wear in the institution I decided to serve God in, if I did not have to worry about if I have on the right attire to be deemed worthy enough to sing praise and worship, or to pray, or to raise an offering, or to even enter the doors, then maybe my answer would be different. And that's not to slight anything or anyone. If I did not honor and obey the rules set before me in the organization that I dwell in, I would have left. But I honor and respect what was set before me. That does not mean I have to agree with it.
Okay, but let's see.
I'm looking at this comment.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the comments also,
but because they're not Christ-like. Let's remember,
have to understand. See, when you start
that
talking about the church, whether the church
that's
loves,
my big brother. He needs to be up here. I'm sorry, brother Polite. I should add you up here too.
Go ahead,
when you start talking about whether the church loves black men or not, you were actually changing the entire topic and going in a totally different way, because whenever you bring in church into it, it's completely different than what we're talking about outside of the church, because there's another aspect of the church that we are overlooking, and that's the religious. That's the reason for the church is about Christ, and what should be in the church is the love of Christ and how Christ addressed everybody, not just one particular or just looking at the black man. So when you're talking about whether or not the church loves in entirety, you're talking about a completely different subject and just about loving the black man. So you really can't separate that. So what so it's so many different things that come into play, so many different dynamics. It's coming from so many different angles when you bring up the church, because you're also talking about the angle of sin, versus being righteous. You're talking about trying to live holy and trying to do what the Bible says and walk and live every day. It's so many different things that come into play here. It's more than just about one particular group. And then when you're talking about church, see, we like to talk about and think about church, how church makes me feel. How does the church look at me when I come in? But what we are failing to realize is that you are the church. You are part of the church. So we look at church today as though it is a country club. How does the church make me feel? How does the church treat me? What do I get from the church? And not understanding that church is actually about what do you bring to the church? What do you bring to the table?
Okay.
Go ahead.
So thank you for adding that last part. I'm looking at some of you all are my cousins and my relatives.
Mm-hmm.
Some of you I talk to every day. And amongst the four of us that I know talk every day, there's so many different ideas, so much information. We have gone out into the world and learned so many different things that we can bring even to our own personal organization and make it so much better. But if you're not in a space where you are allowed to bring that information because of what you wear, or because of what you might have done, or decisions you might have made, you just said that we are the church. We are supposed to love each other as Christ loved us. Christ loved us so much that he died for us, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're allowed to come to church in a hoodie, jean jacket, jeans, pants, sweatpants, and be able to be loved by the members of the church, because each individual member is the church, right?
Correct. And it's not in, but see, it's not
Damon,
in what you wear.
Damon, do you feel loved by the church?
It's a difficult question to ask because listen, because I'm not looking. Hold on, because
Answer, bro.
wait a minute. Let me finish. I'm not looking for the church to love me. I'm looking for Christ to love me. And so you have to understand this. You have to understand this, that when you go into it, there are so many different things that are going on. And no, the church is not perfect. There are things wrong in the church. Listen, I'm a preacher. You guys know that. And one of the things that I say a lot of times is the stuff that's wrong in the church. A lot of times the messages I bring are about issues and things that are going wrong in the church. Okay, but does that mean that the church as a whole doesn't love me? No, we have to understand that the same way that the church is going on and that there's things going on in the church, there is an enemy that wants to keep things going on in the church. Because when it comes to the church, I'm not talking about black or white. When it comes to the church and love, it's an issue of God and the enemy. And the whole point is that the enemy don't want you to have a relationship with God. And however he can accomplish that, whether it's making you feel not loved, whether it's making you feel not accepted, whether it's making you feel diminished or your voice is not heard, that is his goal and his purpose. So where I am, I'm not going to the church looking for the church to love me. Now, if you're talking about something specific or someone specific, that's different than just grouping it all together and saying the church. Now, I got to be excused for a minute. My sugar is dropping a little low, and I need to get something.
Please.
Go. I'm next. I got next.
Going to church.
I don't talk.
Wait, I got next.
Look at Chris.
I got next.
Quentin, I'm going, Quentin.
Okay, wait.
Can we change that topic? I'm uncomfortable. I don't feel like
okay, I just want to say one thing. We can change the topic and we can go to the next part of it. I just want to say one thing. We have to understand that the church are people, right? So in actuality, when we're saying the church, we're not talking about Christ. God loves us all, period. Jeans, no jeans, sneakers, whether you did a bid, you didn't do a bid, whoever you are, however you are, Christ, God loves us, period. That's a period. There's no comma. There's no extra added. God loves us, period, right? When we're saying does the church love black men, that is now going a little bit deeper into people, because people are the church, right? I think sometimes the church, hold on, Brian, now you want to talk. Check him out. I think the church can sometimes suppress and demasculinize, is that the word I'm trying to use? Like, make men feel like they have to be less than a manly man, depending on where you go, right? But once again, I think it goes back to the people and understanding the people are just that, people. And a lot of people come to church. They always say church is a hospital. A lot of people come to church with their own issues, their own childhood traumas, their own issues in their family, how men were viewed in the household and the lack thereof, right? And then that is now incorporated into the church. Brian, fix your face. And that is now incorporated into the church. So when you think about that, there's so many different elements in the church that you can't just say, oh, the church doesn't love black men, because in actuality, it's people. The church is a building. People are in the building. So it's the people and the relationship and the culture, the black culture, that is the real issue. It's the black culture.
Not just black culture, but church culture ultimately.
Yeah, church culture. So we go to black churches, man.
So like someone asked, how do we get here? Chris said that there should be a safe space for black men, and the church is supposed to be a safe space. But my question was, does the church know how to love a black man? And not anything to start controversy or chaos concerning this topic, but let's really analyze and look at what we're talking about and the time that we're living in. You get what I'm saying? Bezo, I want to add some stuff, but I want to hold my comments because I saw y'all want to talk. Kev, Bezo, BJ, y'all do your thing. Brian, Chris, I saw everyone. I got some stuff some heavy hitters I want to throw out there, but I'm gonna wait.
Okay, we can go there, but Brian, you go, because I gotta tell my baby good night. And then I want to get to it. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna lie. Like I missed it. Like I lost my train of thought and all that. But like, if the people in the church make up the church, and that's what we call in the church, we talking about the people, or whatever. If they don't make it a safe space, like Christ or God wanted it to be a safe space, what we going to church for? What you need the church for? Why not just have that relationship with yourself or by yourself? Like, if the people in the church ain't going to embody it like it's supposed to be embodied, you need to abolish churches. Or
okay. Why do you go to work? There are bad people at work. There are people at work that don't make work environment conducive to work, but you still gonna work. I
go to work to get chicken to make sure I don't have to work to get chicken.
But that's people go to church because that's what they need. You can't put it all.
Nah, that don't correlate, because I could talk to God by myself. I don't need to go to church to do that. What I'm going to church for? I go to work to make money. If I can make money by myself, I'm going to do that. What do you like?
Ron, you this one.
His point is valid. But this is why this conversation is necessary. So here's Kev, you finished talking to you? Because all right, go ahead, Chris.
I need Chris to pull in because he talking about his point is valid. I don't agree with that. Come on, Chris.
Go ahead.
All right. Wow. A lot. A whole lot. I thought this was How to Love a Black Man. Jesus. I will say this. I'm gonna try to keep it as brief as possible because y'all just opening up tombs. Y'all don't get bones is spreading everywhere. Nobody cares. Y'all chose violence today. Okay. It's bloody. It's a massacre. So, what? Abolish churches? Oh, Jesus. Blasphemy. No. I think what it is that it is hard to really come into, like Damon said, that it's kind of hard to really accompany black, because Christ there is no color. You know what I mean? But what I will say is that within the black church, air quotations, right, that the sense of community that there used to be is no longer present. And not just that, how the church was supposed to be a staple to be that safe place, and not just a safe place, not just a safe haven, but also as opposed to just taking from the community, putting back into it programs, jobs, building them up. And really, honestly, when you look back into the 60s and the 50s, that's how there was such a big explosion with black men becoming Muslim, because the things that the church was supposed to do, that the Nation of Islam was doing, building up the black man, teaching them how to be fathers, teaching them how to be, how to be sons, how to be husbands, how to, employment, taking them, coming out of jail and building them back up. And the church has not really done that the way they are supposed to. You know what I mean? The scripture says that if a brother be overtaken in any fault, restore such a one in the spirit of meekness. And one thing I can tell you is that whenever somebody falls, church nasty, boy. Woo! Nasty. Tear you up. You know what I mean? And the thing is that I think it goes back into what we were talking about, the emotions that people all have and how they view love and all these other different things, that now you bring what your nasty stuff or whatever you learn or how you learn, and now you got a collar on, and then now you're in front of the people. And there's nobody to tell you that you're wrong because you got a collar on, and nobody, what they've been taught in the old church is that, we don't question authority. You know what I mean? And so many other different things that you can go in, but we will be here till 11 o'clock. So I'm going to shut up.
Yes. So we're going to actually segue into something else.
So I want to say this, because there's conflicting opinions about something doesn't mean that the topic is
thank you, because
We have to have these conversations. If we want to win the loss, the Bible says, have an answer for every man. If we want to win the loss, you have to have the conversations. The question was, does the church love black men? That's what the question was. Now, I understand that may be deep and a lot for some people, but the reality is, and I'm going to say this, and I was waiting for everyone's comments to go in this Trayvon Martin, George Floyd, Ahmaud Arbery day that we're living in, where it's getting more dangerous and dangerous to be a black man, where you see on YouTube, World Star, on Facebook, every other day, black brothers are being assassinated by the police as well as themselves. Where are the programs? Where are the services? Where are the things that's being had for us from the church that says we love you, we care, outside of the word? Because I'm a preacher, I know the Bible, and I want to, let's keep it 100. Outside of the word, outside of worship service, what are we doing? Because and I'm not trying to start a war, but when a woman is abused or hurting, we have programs. We have things that we put in place to help that individual or help that woman.
Like what?
Some, babe.
I don't know, babe. I need to know.
So we have. He was flowing. We have women shelters. We have women's services. We have women programs towards helping that woman, especially a mother.
But is that through church though, babe?
The churches have these programs.
Some of those are backed by religious organizations.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But what I'm saying is for us men, where is the outlet, the program, the ministry, the service, for black men? So if I wasn't a black man that wasn't in Christ at this moment, and I'm fearful for my life every day I go out the house, I'm scared for my son's sake, what does the church have in place to win a person like myself?
We give you Jesus.
Yo, look.
I get Jesus.
No, I know. I was saying,
but the reality is, I'm gonna be honest. And I say this, and I'm this is one of my sermons that I'm going to preach. I don't want this Jesus that you guys have that calls you to scandalize your brother's name, that calls you to talk about this one, that calls you to sleep. I don't want that Jesus. I want the one that said he came to save all. I don't want the one that lets the pastor steal the money from the church, go buy a Bentley when people are hungry. I don't want that Jesus. I want the real Jesus, the right Jesus. And that's why I asked that question, does the church love black men?
Well, I think
hold on, let me finish. Because I was not only a father who lost his son, but I was someone hurting, and there was outside of Jesus gonna fix it after a while. Outside of you can have another baby in the future. Outside of God doesn't do anything by mistake. There was nothing for me.
Wow. Yes.
And so I'm a preacher in the church who, if I didn't have a relationship, I wouldn't have been sustained. Or you know what I'm saying? So now someone like Brian, someone like these other brothers who are hurting and scared and confused and is looking for a refuge, but the church doesn't have anything for them.
Ooh, this is deep.
What do we do?
Babe, you on to it tonight.
Because I held this for 2 years. Hold on. I held this for 2 years.
You did this.
Like,
he's excited.
So, but not only that, why do we? And here's the thing.
Hold on, Kev. I'm sorry. And because this conversation may be too much for some, listen, log off. I love you, but we're gonna have this conversation because it needs to be had. Y'all been running from the serious conversations that needed to be had for too long, and not on my watch. Go ahead, Kev.
I'm gonna keep it a buck.
Hold on, BJ. Bezo.
No, Brian was first. He was first.
All right.
I'm gonna keep it a buck.
I gotta pray. Oh, Jesus.
You'll get me in a church with the programs in the community outreach before you go for the word, and that's just facts. You feel what I'm saying? Like it don't click for me the way it clicked for everybody else, the way it clicked for you. But seeing you uplift, because that's something I'm passionate about, I would more than join and be there for real for the work for the people before I'm just there to sit here and you talk about God. Like, that's just me though. Like, I'm not
absolutely. But what are we doing? It bugs me, bro. It bugs me that I see homeless mothers, I see homeless fathers. I see children on the street, and then it's 7 churches on this block that see them and it's like, hey, well, come to Jesus. No, we need more than that. Jesus fed the people. Jesus met the people at their need. We do all this, but what else? Because there has to be more.
Mel.
Kevin was on Damon. And then you could go next. This is getting very intense. I want to ask the next question.
I'm here for it all. I gotta go to work.
My thing is this: black men in particular, always have to be sheltered in our truth. We can never speak our truth without it being
you're aggressive
from other What my truth is and my experience is not attached to your experiences. So you don't get to dictate how I spew my truth. We are always forced to shut up, especially when we're talking to black women. We are always forced to be on the back burner of our truths. Our truths are always at stake when it comes to it's always like, hey, be mindful of what you say, even if it is your experience, because you don't want to offend. So absolutely. What?
Right.
Anybody else can say whatever they want about or to a black man. The moment we echo the sentiments of our truth,
he's angry.
We are now at fault. We are now wrong. Why? No matter if it's about the church, the schoolyard, Fruit Loop boxes in the grocery store, no matter what it is, have it not caused such a divide in anybody that it's cool.
You froze, Kevin. But you was on a roll. You was on a roll.
I'm trying to unfreeze him.
Yeah.
You was on a roll.
Yo, Chris.
I think that, this conversation has definitely ruffled some feathers. I want to be very clear.
Let them be ruffled. But you know what I want you to do?
They have to be ruffled.
Hold on. And I'm gonna let Damon go. Let the feathers be ruffled. But then after those feathers get ruffled, I want you to go home and think about whatever your ministry or your church ain't doing. Don't tell me what you're doing. Because it's great to Damon.
No, I'm with you. Listen, but here's the thing is that I'm with you.
That's the problem. We focus on what we're doing, but we need to work on what we're not doing because we can reach more.
Right. Listen. And in many cases, the church has lost its first love. It has lost its way. We have become a society with churches that are self-fulfilling, that are only there to sustain themselves. I said this to my wife and to my mother-in-law, to a couple other people that through this pandemic. And I'm talking about not one church, the church as a whole. This country, the United States of America, this last year, people have been waiting on stimulus checks. People have been waiting on child credits and different things. What has the church done as a stimulus for the people? The same churches where people are hurting and losing jobs and people are not working, the churches don't have a problem standing on a platform every Sunday soliciting, offering tithes from people that are hurting. But what is the church giving? And this is a conversation that goes further than just the love of whether black men are loved and feel safe in church. It's a conversation about church. And so many churches have lost their way. They are not looking like Christ. They're not doing what Christ did. They're not living and showing people the love of Christ. It has become more about make sure I get this money so that the church bills are paid than blessing people. Go ahead.
Hold on. No. Even in blessing people, blessing people is more than paying bills. So let's do it like this. If I'm a woman at home being raped and abused by my husband, right? You blessing me ain't helping me. I need safety. I need security. I need to get away. So the church paying my bills. The church paying my bills ain't enough. So I need something more than that. So what I'm saying is, as a black man who's been in the church, let me tell you what they said about me. I'm a black man in church my whole life. When in worship, I cry. I was gay. I was this. I was down low because they don't know how to accept a black man as he is for what he is without putting on him anything else other than what it is. And then we don't allow them to just come and be, or allow us rather, to come and be what we are. it's always, well, you have to fit this criteria. You have to fit this mold. You have to look this way. You got to walk this way. You got to act this way. You got to talk this way.
This is getting so spicy. This is getting very spicy.
Spice is the variety of life.
Yes, it is. And my husband is on it. This is a Truth Moment podcast. And like he said, you know, it's tight, but it's right. We have matter of opinion. I want to be very clear. I'm not apologizing, Bijan, for what we're saying, but I want to be very clear. This is not a bashing of the church.
No. We need the church.
Of what the men say they feel and feel not heard in the church. That's what this is. And the community of men that don't go to church, feeling like there are not enough resources, there are not enough programs, there are not enough things that go for the church. We have plenty of women ministries, we have plenty of women this and women that, and we don't have as much men programs and things that are in the church. So I want to segue real quick. I want to segue, babe. I want to segue.
We have to.
We got to segue. So I want to bring it back to our original point: how to love a black man. So yes, we talked about church, we talked about individual loving one another, the community loving one another. And Chris hit on it very quickly. He tapped it, but he didn't like drive it all the way home. But I want to bring it to this because in the reality is it all starts with the home. It all starts in a relationship. So my question to you, black men, is do you believe that black women know how to love a black man? It's getting spicy. It's getting hot.
Go ahead, Beehive.
I'm here for the women.
Go ahead,
I gotta see if ladies on here. I gotta make sure.
Oh, it's ladies up here.
It's ladies up here.
No, I'm talking about lady. I'm talking about lady.
Oh, your lady. Your lady. Listen.
I'm saying that crazy. I love you.
Okay, so do you feel like black? So I want everyone to respond on this one.
I think black women deserve the world. I think black women are the most wonderful, amazing creatures that God has ever created and put on this on this earth. But I feel like society and unfortunately social media and what has now become the cultural norms of the day has made the black man the only species of man that doesn't need to be loved and respected the way he does. So my answer is no.
Okay, that's your answer. Who wants to go next?
Repeat the question, please.
I said, do you believe or do you feel that black women know how to love a black man? Speak your truth.
I think they, to an extent, and I think that's in turn because they have not received proper love from black men. Hurt people, and heal people.
Yeah.
It's so much that has derived from brokenness. Like literally, we were shattered pieces, and we created a unit to try to pick up those pieces from even from ancestry. I'm talking about great grandparents and our ancestors were broken people who communicated in broken ways, built a broken society, and never healed.
This is true.
So they passed it down and passed it down and passed it down. We know what we know because of what we saw our parents do.
This is true.
And what we heard our parents say. So I wouldn't discredit the black woman completely. I think many black women attempt to love us properly. I just don't think we give ourselves as black men, is who I'm referring to when I say we. I don't think us black men, give ourselves enough space and room to understand how important it is for us to really be authentically ourselves so that they can love us properly.
That's true, Kevin. That because a lot of times, and we had, and Chris, you're going to talk next. We have had side conversations where it's been you, Jamel, and I think all you guys talked about going in the cave. Like you can't be your true self, because if you're your true self, they don't know. A woman doesn't know how to handle that. She now puts she has to pull you back to where she wants you to be, and it sometimes continues to be a back and forth. So you have to be who she wants you to be, what she created, or what she feels like this is what a black man should look like, or a man. Period. Chris, you wanted to say something. I want to hear from Brian. I want to hear from Dash over there in the corner, and Damon. I want to hear from you guys. Yes, Dash, you didn't come up here to sit back and to be the peanut gallery. Come on.
I'm present but not present. Thank you.
That is what he said. He did say that. He did.
Come on, Chris.
Back to the home. The law of acquisition. You know what I mean? The first man that a black woman encounters is her father, if there was one that was ever there. You know what I mean? And one of the things that I believe that there's difficulty in black women loving black men is because, like, I believe it was Kevin was saying, is that, like, when you go all the way down the line, there was a strategy to break up the black home, and it's come all the way through down to now. You know, a house divided against itself cannot stand. And we have, you know, we've pitted the black woman against the black man and the black man against the black woman, to where now, obviously, if you know, it is a form of genocide psychologically, because now we can't continue the race if they don't come together, if they don't want to be together, right? And what begins to happen is, I think that somebody was talking about, I don't remember who it was saying that, like, you know, if I'm totally myself, if I take off all that the world, like I said, I think earlier in the segment, you know, if I take off, I gotta face the world, I gotta fight the world, I gotta do all these things, fight all these stigmas, try to do my best, try to be my best, all that the world is trying to break me, and then I come home, and then the first thing you want to do is argue with me? You know what I'm saying? So then now what it begins is that now what I think it is that it's not even so much just that a black woman doesn't know how to love a black man, but black men have unlearned how to receive love. Yeah. We don't know how to take it. So if you can try to give as much as you want, but if I don't know how to receive it, then now at some point I keep on ignoring you, you're going to stop giving it. You know what I mean? Or you're just going to give what you think that I want. And if you've been in enough relationships where now you've depleted yourself, now you and then you finally get to the one, now you selfish. Because now you're like, I'm just going to get whatever I can get for me. You know what I mean? And we see where the society is now, that everything is all selfie. Everything is all, it's all about me. It's all about what I can get. It's all about how I can, you know, how I can come up, how I can be an influencer, how can, you know, how I can get verified, this, that, and the third. And it's no longer about, you know, coming together and being vulnerable with one another to be able to grow together. You know,
that's true. I want to read this, something that my good sis said, Jodo. She said, oh, sorry, guys. You know, in a nutshell, we've been hurt by black men. So a lot of the times it's hard to love a black man because of the hurt that we've experienced from a black man, whether it be our own fathers. Hold on, Kev. Whether it be our own father. Oh, Brian want to do the signal. Whether it be our own fathers, whether it be in relationships that we've had, whether black men have mishandled us, you know, and y'all understand what I'm saying in the mishandling, right? Whether black men have raped and like all of these variations of things that black men have contributed to, and can also cause a black woman for it to kind of be hard to love a black man, which goes back to what I said. A lot comes from either childhood traumas or issues that we faced in our past that we've never healed from and addressed. We brought the luggage into this relationship. We brought the problems and the skeletons and all of the issues into this relationship, and we've never addressed it on both ends. Damon, wait. Brian had his hand up. He did it. I want to hear from Damon. I know Kevin spoke. And T, I want to hear from you. No, T said no. All right, that's your truth moment. What about you, Brian? What you got to say?
Kev going first.
Okay, Kev going first.
We were hurt by black women too.
Come on. Hurt.
Yo, like
our mothers hurt. Can I be honest? I love my mom to death. I didn't get a close relationship with my mom until my grandmother passed. I was able to authentically see the truth of who she was, right? And a lot of her experiences were attached to traumatic experiences she could not heal from or have not healed from, right? I had to learn at 33. I'm gonna be 35 this year, right? That might be different. Yeah, at 33. At 33, I had to learn that my mom did the best she could with what she had at 15. Right?
My first experience with a woman was a broken experience with my mother. I, to this day, at 35, find it hard to allow myself to authentically let a woman love me because it's not the familiar experience.
Wow. Wow.
So the same thing you echo, Q, is the reverse of that for many black men too.
But
I think the difference is women are more prone to admitting that than men are.
Absolutely.
But also, but not only that, and women, you may be mad at me, but we have spaces where we can actually have these conversations and it be accepted. Because as soon as a black man or a man says women hurt me, we get triggered and we want to attack.
Not only that, and I'm gonna let Bezo go. But let me tell you something, women, black women, whoever's watching. The minute a black, especially us, who's like Chris said, we warring all day, we're fighting all day. And then got to come home and fight. The minute I express myself to you, I open up, I allow myself to be vulnerable to you, and then you either disregard my truth and my feelings or label me as sensitive, or I need to man up or toughen up, or you the man, be a man, all that. Never again. You'll never get
never again.
Never again. You will never ever see me cry, be weak, be vulnerable, be emotional again. Never. I don't care if my daddy died. You'll never see a tear come out of my eye, because when I was vulnerable with you that first time to see if I can trust you while I'm hurting, you dropped me. You dropped the ball.
Hey, what would Jesus
and because
do?
No, you ain't. I don't care. Listen, piss on me once, you'll never piss on me twice.
What would Jesus do, Ron?
Listen,
what would Jesus do? Brian and Damon, what would Jesus do?
Never again.
You can't ask me that.
No, I'm not asking you what Jesus do. I'm talking to your brother, Brian.
Hey,
we're still praying for you. Brian, do you feel that women know how to love a black man? That's the question.
See, that's the thing. I can't it'll be shameful for me to throw all the salt on the women. I think like somebody said earlier, I wasn't paying attention. Somebody said basically it was like women want to. They have that, like most of them have that like intention. But I think one, like you said, some of them are hurt. So like you bringing that baggage onto the next situation, which is unfair because like I ain't do that to you, right? Respectfully, I shouldn't have to deal with whatever that situation was. Same thing on the man's side. It's like, all right, we've been hurt before, or it's just I don't know how to love myself, or I don't know what I need to be looking for, or I feel like I can't express that to you. So it's gonna be some barrier there. You feel what I'm saying? So I think like honestly, find you one, and then like well, put that work in first, then find you one and put that work in together. I think that's the only real solution. It's gonna be work regardless.
You know what? Thank you, Brian. You know what, Toya? I don't think that they're saying it's your fault. What she said, so it's my fault for what your mama did to you. No, but it's also not their fault for what our daddies did to us. What? Right? So we have to be accountable on both ends. And I'm saying this as a mom with boys. You know what I'm saying? So it ain't my son's fault for what your daddy didn't do for you. Now they have to come and save you, and vice versa. So it's not about anybody's fault. It's about allowing each other to be vulnerable and to be present and to give grace.
Kevin, then BJ.
Give grace. I want to hear Damon because I feel like Damon got a lot on his mind.
I ain't see his hand.
You know I got a lot to say, Q.
We got something to say.
When don't I have something to say?
Damon got something to say. He didn't do the hand gesture, but he got something to say. I see it. I want to hear it.
It's been universal to use the hand gesture.
Exactly. To the hand, Dame. Go.
Okay, so I can't answer that question with a yes or a no. I think that just like BJ and everyone else have expressed, I think that black women do their best to love black men. I don't think that they intentionally go into any situation looking to not love the black man properly. I think that we both, the male and the female, I think we need to understand that we all are carrying hurt and pain. See, the thing that I've come to learn in this life is that we carry all of the negative stuff, and the negative stuff is what shapes our future and our present. So holding on to all of the negativity and the things that happen to us that cause the pain, that's what we remember the most. But we tend to forget that we all experience pain. We all experience the same pain, whether you're male or female. Listen, whether you are a boy or girl, If you have a father abandonment issues, it's the same. If you have mother abandonment issues, it's the same. Children need their mother, their father. They need that community that used to exist. The aunties, the uncles, the neighbor down the street that looks out for you. We need all of that. So when you don't have that and you're growing up, you're hurting. And now you're coming into a situation with, whether it's a black woman coming into a situation with a black man or vice versa, you're coming into it hoping that that person can heal the things that are broken in you, when you can't even be truthful with the things that are broken about yourself. It all starts with being truthful. Listen, accepting I've been hurt, I've been let down, I've been disappointed, I've been preyed upon, and I don't mean Prayed, I mean Preyed. I've been preyed upon, I've been made the victim, I've been attacked, I've been through all of these different things, but none of those things define who I am. So we have to, as a group, learn to let go of the negative things, the things that hurt us. First, we have to be truthful about it. Accept it. I'm hurting. I have been hurt. I'm hurting. If I can't express my pain to the person that supposedly loves me and cares for me the most, then there is no other relationship outside of that will be healed and function properly. So if I can't, as a black man, if I can't express my pain to my black queen, my wife, how can I expect the relationship with me and my children to be the proper relationship when I'm holding in things that are not conducive to a healthy relationship? We have to accept that we all, every single person we have, I don't care who it is, every single person that has ever lived, that is living, and that will ever live, we all experience pain. We got to stop owning the pain. Stop making ourselves the pain, because we don't carry the good times. We don't carry the successes. We don't carry the great stories. What do we carry? The pain, the hurt. Listen, I can go through my life and look at where my mother hurt me. I can go through my life and look at where my father hurt me. But I'll never talk about how my mother worked her fingers to the bone just to buy me sneakers to make sure that I had what I had. You know what I'm saying? But I can carry the hurt and I can let that control my life. No, because every single person that's on this video, every single person that's watching, everybody has been let down, has been hurt, has been something negative has happened. We have to stop letting the negative carry the narrative.
You know what, Damon? Let me just, Bijan, you about to go in. Just let me insert this very quick.
Kev, Bezo, then BJ.
Oh, okay, real quick. Let me insert this real quick. Not only have we been hurt before, but we've actually done hurting too. Yes. That's another thing. Sometimes we forget that we've actually been in the seat of the person to hurt. We've hurt too. So I think it's very important, and Bijan, you go next, for us to give grace. We can't sit on this high horse and say, hey, you gotta love me this way, but then you gotta love me too. We can't have this high expectation from people, both men and women, because the truth is, baby love, we gotta love the black man that we want to be with. That's the truth. If you don't want to be a man, and don't love him. But if you want to be in a relationship and you want to be in a healthy one, you have to know how to love the person that you're with, and vice versa. That's the truth. That's what it all boils down to. And you have to give grace. And we can't expect, as women, and I'm a woman, so I can speak for the women, and maybe some of the women like, girl, we don't agree with you, and that's your business, because it's my Truth on podcast, and I'm gonna say what I want to say. But as a woman, I can't expect my husband to meet all of my needs and never meet his, because I'm the woman. He's supposed to do everything he's supposed to do for me. He's supposed to work. He's supposed to pay all the bills. He's supposed to, do this for the kids, provide.
I don't even want to ask that question. What do y'all bring to the table?
But I'm not even going to go there. Don't go there, baby. Don't go there. And we don't do it. And I want to understand. I want to be very clear. I'm not saying that this falls on all women, because I bring a lot to the table.
Absolutely.
I bring a lot to the table, and I do a lot as well. However, we have to make sure that we're making sense. If we want to really break cycles, if we want to really break this whole how we're not loving men and how men are acting, and we call men when they're smaller, we say that don't cry, don't show emotions. And then when they become adult men and we're mad because they don't show emotions, we say that they're emotionless. It's because we told them not to cry. We're creating these cycles. If we want to break cycles, we have to allow them to be free to express themselves, because you can't tell nobody what their truth is. You just can't. Bijan, is your go.
I think that everything that we said in this particular segment of the conversation,
Go ahead, BJ.
I'm sorry.
Kev looking at comments.
Yeah,
I'm looking at comments too.
He's looking at Toy comments.
Yeah.
But I think that everything that we have talked about in this particular segment kind of points towards healing. And one of the things that we can do to heal ourselves if we have these conversations is normalizing or making it more common to go to therapy.
Definitely.
Even when I was growing up, you would hear that those people that went to therapists or psychologists or psychiatrists, they have a problem.
And they're crazy.
But in all actuality, like we said multiple times in the midst of this conversation, we all have our own traumas and things that we have to heal from. And I'm speaking as a person from experience. Going to therapy was probably, outside of going to college, was the best decision that I ever made. In that space, I had to have vulnerable moments with somebody that in the beginning I did not know. Having conversations about things that I never wanted to talk about. Moments that hurt me and really hurt me. Moments that I was in my most vulnerable place in life. So I think that if we took the time, and this is one of the things that I saw Javon say, we have to take responsibility as men or women. But if we take responsibility and say, hey, you know that at some point in time you want to be in a romantic relationship, or even if you're going to want to be by yourself, you have to be content with being by yourself.
Yes.
Going to therapy will allow you to have those moments where you have to really be introspective and reflect on things that you've endured, things that you have done to other people, and where you are going.
Good stuff, Bijan.
In those moments, I learned how to communicate more effectively. In those moments, I forgave myself. In those moments, I forgave others.
Oh. That's true.
But we have to make it reality that that's something that can happen. Like, you can go to therapy and you're not a punk, or you don't.
Definitely. Good. That was good stuff, Bijan. So, Kevin,
BJ. Yeah. Then somebody texted.
Yeah, somebody texted a question. That's a good one.
I think we become very comfortable in the idea that when we are attached to a person, their experiences separate of ours together aren't as important as ours together. For instance, Mel and Q are married. Mel has his own set of life experiences. Q has her own. And most of the mistake comes in, and I'm not speaking that it's your truth, but most of the mistakes comes in relationships where when we become together, you don't have your own issues anymore. I don't have my own issues anymore. We have whatever we got is ours. That's not true.
This is true.
Most of my experiences are when we take so much of what our personal things are into relationships that it robs us of the opportunity to create new stuff with in that relationship. We're so tight. I often use this analogy with my boys when I'm mentoring. Like, you got so much that you go in. It's almost like you get out your car with nothing. You walk into a shopping mall and there's over 100 stores in this mall. You about to go in at least 50 to 75 of them. Every store you go in, you grab a bag. Eventually, you're going to now have to wonder, hey, there's about 10 more stores I need to hit, and I don't have any more room in my hand to carry anything. My car is right outside, though. Am I going to go drop some of this off, release myself? Some macho people going to be like, no, I'm going to go to these 10 stores, and I'm going to grab these bags. And now I'm out of the 10th store, and I literally cannot move because I have so many things I'm carrying, right? And all I had to do was make a pit stop to the car, right? We treat our mental health the same way. We don't take pit stops. We don't seek relief from the baggage and the weight that we carry, and we take those things into spaces and give those off unconsciously sometimes to people who don't deserve it.
This is true. Kevin, you froze.
Y'all it's y'all thing. Keep going in and out. Is it me?
Yeah, it's you. You the only one, bro.
You
I'm just saying, like, I'm not robbing. Like, Toya's comments, like, I get where she's coming from. But I'm saying, like, it's also the same on the other end too.
Right.
Like, she made a comment when she said men will sit in it
No, go get help. But women should do the same.
Absolutely.
And I should be able to tell. I should be able to tell not just the woman I'm with, but my sister, my mother. Hey, you need to go figure out whatever that is, so that you don't bring that into spaces and give it to people who don't deserve it.
But that's the problem, bro. We instead of seeking to help each other, we have competitions. Let me tell you what happened today. My wife told me about one of our friends. She said, pray for such and such because such and such and such and such. And then she said, women go through so much. And so I said, men do too.
He did.
She said, well, women have this health challenge and we have this. You guys don't. I said, we have this and we have this and we have this. She said, but Ron, women have. And I said, Quanisha, men have this too. I said, for every issue a woman has, a man has.
He said it.
And I said, and I'm saying to myself, like, this is why these conversations are so important.
But the crazy thing about it, and Damon could go next. In my mind, I wasn't even really trying to compete. I was just wanting to highlight the fact of what this person was going through in that moment. And Mel was like, well, men go through it. Like, I felt like you was kind of not being sensitive to that moment.
No, it wasn't a matter of me being insensitive or trying to be insensitive. It was a matter of me trying to make you aware that we have a struggle also.
I got it.
You get what I'm saying? Like, I think go ahead, Dane.
Listen, BJ said something at the end of what he was saying that I think is so very important. So many of these issues come from us, whether it be the black man, the black woman, or just people in general, not learning how to forgive themselves. So many of us, we all carry around everything that we have gone through in life, and we carry around the blame for it. A lot of the situations and things that we have come through and gone through, whether we did it ourselves or whether it was done to us, we carry around the guilt for it and we carry around the blame. And we would be so much better mentally, physically, if we learned how to just forgive yourself. Like, I made a lot of bad mistakes, bad decisions in my lifetime. I've done a lot of stupid things, a lot of childish things, a lot of, even immoral things. The day that I learned to say that, Damon, I forgive you, was probably the best day of my life, because I stopped carrying around this need to feel competition with everybody and this need to feel perfect, accepting the fact that I'm flawed, that I have, error, that I have different things about me, but none of those things control my life. And what happens when I forgive myself, I now know how to forgive other people and accept that they are hurting as well. So I stop internalizing everything and understand that the people around me, they're going through the same things that I've gone through. They're going through, we may be, like me and my brother Mel may be going through the same exact thing at the same exact time, but because I feel the need to be perfect and I can't show any weakness, I can't express to him what I'm going through, and we probably could help each other through this, but we don't talk. And it starts with self-forgiveness. I'm not perfect. You have to forgive yourself. There are so many people, there's so many black men walking around here that hate themselves, like really, truly hate themselves. And when you learn to forgive yourself for just all you are a human being. Also, everything you've done is everything everybody else has done. We have to learn to forgive ourselves. I'll stop talking now.
So we're gonna
can I say something real quick? I want to get on that forgiveness piece, and I'll be brief, right?
Okay.
So I'm gonna use a personal story.
Okay.
Damon, for those of you who don't know, and for those who are listening, Damon is my older cousin, right? For years as a kid, I grew up in a house with only women. So I loved anytime our family got together as the big unit, because I got to be around my older cousins, the males, right? Anytime Damon ever saw me, it was never anything nice. He judged me by what I looked like. And I never said this to Damon out loud.
Wow.
Dave, especially at church, why don't you wear a t-shirt? You look crazy without a t-shirt. All men should always wear t-shirts. Damon never once questioned or thought about what my home life was like. Never thought about the fact that I didn't have a man to teach me those things, right? But Damon also never said those things to me personally. It was always around a group of people. in my mind, I'm triggered because I spent a lot of time running from people's perceptions and thoughts of me as a kid being bullied, right? Wow. So all I'm hearing in my brain, not the fact that, yeah, he might be right because I probably do need to wear t-shirts, but my dad wasn't here to teach me that. These dudes that are around me are beating me up because of my appearances, right? Mm-hmm. The last thing I need is for that to come from my bigger cousin. This is when it tripped for me, though. There was an opportunity for me to either sink or swim. And Damon said something to me that could have potentially saved my life, right? And it was in that moment I thought he didn't mean any harm by telling me to wear a t-shirt. He was teaching me what he knew, right? But I had to be aware within myself, like mentally aware of that. And it took an experience for that to trip in me, right? I say all that to say, I hated Damon because of that. And not because he did something wrong to me, but my perception of the message he sent to me was taken. Mm-hmm. In anger, in disappointment, and upset. I felt slighted. I felt like I was being taunted and bullied by somebody who was supposed to save me, right? Wow. And he mentioned forgiveness, and I remember Damon, clear as day, saying to myself, maybe even, I think it was maybe like 4 or 5 years ago, Kevin, stop being angry at him. He's also done a lot of good for you, right? Wow. Forgive this man, right? And I did, Damon. But for years, I held on to that like it was Bible to me. Like I would see it and be like,
Kev, wait a minute. Let's look at that for example. Let's look at that for example. No. Nothing negative.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. If you guys gotta go,
that's a good example of miscommunication. That's a good example of good miscommunication because this is the thing. So from your perspective, I was attacking you, right? Yeah. And that comes again. My intent was negative. My intent was good, but my impact was bad. The reality of from my perspective, where I was telling you that out of love, because for me, I can't speak for everybody, but for me, when someone that is connected to me that I love, when I hear other people talking about them, it bothers me. So I'm telling you that because I don't want to hear other people talking about you because I love you. But because
somebody was talking about me, I'm grown now.
But listen. But my impact was different than my intent. So even though I was saying it from a good place, and in my mind, I'm teaching you the things that you need to know because you didn't have a male around, but it's being perceived in a negative way. Now, again, it goes to delivery. It goes to the group that we're in instead of saying it to you in a private setting. But it was never done out of a place of I'm trying to, make everybody laugh at Kev or I'm joking about Kev. It was sincerely done out of a place of I don't want anybody talking about Kev. And wonderful. That was something that I had to learn about myself. I learned this a couple of years ago. Someone said to me, like, I learned how to tone down my words. And then when I did, someone that I used to talk to, like actually my friend Jason said to me, when we first met you, you used to hit people with sledgehammers. But I learned how to turn down my words because you understand now, or I understand now, that it's not what you say, but it's how you say it, that you can have a good intent and destroy a person because you are hitting them with sledgehammers instead of giving them the help that they need.
Yes, thank you. So I want to bring this all in. Chris, you had something to say. We have one more question I want to ask, and then we're going to go. We thank our followers. We thank our listeners. We thank those that have been on. We're
definitely going to do a part 2.
We're going to do a part 2.
And then for all the ladies, because we saw the messages, where's the how to love a black woman? And this is that. We going to trust us.
I want to reel it in.
On your team, bro.
Once again, we thank our listeners. We thank our viewers for those who have rocked with us, that are with us every season and that's with us every episode. This has been an intense but yet needed conversation.
That's not finished.
That is not finished, but it's important for us to know, do we really know how to love a black man? Chris, you're going to go. I'm going to ask one more question and then we're going to be done. And I don't even want y'all to, maybe one person can answer it, but I'm asking to the public. Go, Chris.
Communication, like you guys were saying, and a lot of times the expectation, and I was just speaking about this morning to one of my brothers. I was telling him that a lot of times the expectation that we have while we communicate a lot of times determine the impact, and that expectation is based off of perception of what I expect from you based on how I perceive you. Right, because in communication, there's how I there's something that they talk about in communication where it's like there's how I view you, then there's how you view me, or then there's how I think you view me, then there's how you think, and all these different segues of communication, filter, what's being said and how it's being said, and all these different things that once it goes through all these different little filters, it's like, what? You know what I'm saying? The intent gets lost in a lot of those different things. And it's funny because a lot of people always say, you talk so much, and it's because like I'm so big on trying to make sure that you know exactly what I'm saying, and that you don't misinterpret what I'm saying. So I've got to give you the long, I can't be short. I got to give you the long version, so that way you can never say, oh, I know what you said, because I said about 15 million times, I'm going to give you, repetition. But to what y'all were talking about as far as like, that aspect of forgiveness, and forgiving yourself. Oh man, I had to do that a lot, because a lot of times when I look, it's so easy to talk about how much, I've been hurt, and how much, what has happened to me. And it's easy. There's something called self-serving bias. I want to look at all the good stuff about me, but I want to look about how I was in the seat, where I was slashing and dashing and all this other different stuff. And because I want to uphold the image of myself, that what I perceive about myself is I'm a good guy. I'm a good guy. I don't want to hurt nobody. But then the truth is, you have hurt people. The truth is that you have messed up. The truth is that even though it may not have been your intent, you hit somebody with a car. I did it by mistake, but they still hurt. You still hit them, even though it wasn't your intent. And I think that this goes back to, did you cheat? Hold on. Insider.
Nope. Really? So,
Q, can I say one thing? Q, can I say one thing? Go ahead. Listen, what Chris was just saying, we judge others, we judge ourselves by our best intentions. Yeah. We judge others by their worst actions.
Yep.
That's good.
That's deep. Make that a post. Make that a hashtag.
That's good.
So I want to go really quickly. That was good. Really quickly. I want you guys to give us one word, and then we're done with wrapping it in. How you going to give them one word to that question? Babe, they could give us one word for that. They can. Well, okay, babe. How do you want to
just ask the question.
I don't want to do it.
It might not be one word.
Okay, but we want to.
I think that male should dictate the question, because it's the men's question.
Right.
Listen,
Quentin, you've been talking a lot today, Quentin.
That's what I'm saying.
Sorry.
You ain't even want to come on the show today.
But you made me, so I'm here.
Because
so you want to get everything that I do. This
absolutely,
is what I do.
But now enough.
Oh.
I've spoken, woman.
Right, ask the question.
So the question is, what is the first step towards loving a black man the right way?
We're losing our viewers.
So right, we love you guys as you log off, as you go, because we know you got to put the kids to bed. We love you, but there's some people that are still here.
Okay, so that's the question. What is the first step into loving a black man the right way? If you can do it in one word, that would be great.
I think it's a phrase. That can't be answered in a word. I think a phrase would
love yourself.
Uh-oh. Come on, Dad. Oh, y'all not gonna do that. Whoever that is. Okay. Yes, it is. God bless you. Go ahead, keep going.
So you said love yourself.
Yeah, love yourself.
That's a good one. That's a good one. What do you think, Kev? Well, you can go because I'm talking too much.
No. But one word is not going to be
okay.
Sufficient.
So what's the phrase?
Okay. So yeah, what's the first step towards loving a black man?
A black woman,
a black man the right way.
I'm gonna speak the one word, because they're gonna say we don't listen to the next episode.
Say it again.
Who said that? BJ?
Yeah.
No, okay.
Accepting his truths and his experiences.
Well, I got 2 words: unconditional understanding.
Wow, good stuff. Good stuff. What about you, Brian and Chris?
Just listen, for real. If you're willing to listen, we'll tell you whatever you need to know. That's pretty much it.
Stuff. Good stuff. What about you, Chris?
Understanding.
Bijan, you got to go. B. What?
I think a good way to sum up any type of relationship, whether it's man or woman, gentle persistence.
Say it one more time. I didn't hear you.
Gentle persistence.
Gentle persistence. Definitely. So the last man, the man of the hour, the man of the show. What is your answer? What do you say?
I don't know if I have an answer to that. What's the first step? There's so many steps that one could take.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? To loving a black man the right way.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? We say all the time his peace and all that stuff. But I think when it comes to loving, especially from the black women, I think you need to look in the mirror.
Oh wow.
Look in the mirror, because we want the same things you want. We can't express it the same way you do. So look in the mirror.
Okay. Well, I think we want to wrap it up.
Listen, let me wrap it up.
Wrap it up.
Let me wrap it up. Listen, what's up, family? We love you guys. We thank you guys for rocking with us almost 2 hours. I know for some of you guys that have watched this episode has been tough, especially when we hit the church. But I said what I said, and I said what I said, and I meant what I said, and I take back nothing that I said, because we need to have these conversations. And maybe if we had more of these conversations, more of us would be healed and whole. So this is the truth moment, and we love you. And so does Jesus.
Yes.
Peace.
The truth
but
is,
Jesus met the people where they was.
The truth is,
Jesus healed them and made them whole. Jesus accepted them for what they were.
The truth is,
and preached the gospel.
The truth is that Jesus loves you, and so do I.
And I said what I said.
And he said what he said.
I said what I said.
Thank you guys for joining us. This is the Truth Moment Podcast.
Peace.
We're out of here, guys. Bye, guys.